Hello and welcome to WJTS in.form. In neighboring Pike County, they have an economic development corporation, company, institution that is working to better the area. Pike County especially, but everybody works together to improve Southwest Indiana. Joining me in the studio is the Executive Director for Pike County Growth Council, and that is Paul Lake. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you inviting me in today.
Well, we are glad to have you here. Now, in Pike County, has a lot to offer for folks, and now you got I-69 going through, and we also will talk a little bit about how the economic corporations, is that the right way to call it?
Economic development corporations.
How you all work together to make Southwest Indiana better. Now, let's start off with, what does Pike County have to offer?
Pike County has a lot of things to offer. Pike County is, obviously from a historical point of view, it is the first county that was formed after Indiana became a state. Not only that, it's located in the heart of the coal country in Southwest Indiana. It has large tracts of land that are available for development. We have a plethora of connectivity in terms of state highway systems, and now we have what up until now has been the missing link of Interstate 69, which is moving forward day by day further north, and it will give us that north-south connection to the state capital.
How important is I-69 to Pike County? Because it goes right through Pike County.
It does. It goes right through. It's less than 1 mile, 1.25 miles outside of the city of Petersburg. It is vital to Pike County and the region as a whole because it is a much more accessible, convenient, and efficient means of connecting to Indianapolis. Otherwise, if you're doing a lot of logistics or surface transportation or transport of your material, you're currently going over to Interstate 65, you're going over into Illinois to 57 and 55 to go north and south. What you'll have now is a much shorter means of getting to Indianapolis, Interstate 70, 74, 65, and 69 all the way up into Canada.
I guess for a while then, Southwest Indiana was at a disadvantage because the only thing really we had was east and west, and that was I-64.
That's correct. And if you truly were shipping large amounts of material, you were going east and west to get to those other 4-lane limited access interstates, to get it to the rest of the country. What it does is, with just-in-time technology, a project that is in Pike County, DuBois County, or one of the surrounding counties, it makes it very easy for them to become a regional presence, to where you're commuting workforce, transportation of goods and material, and finished product. It makes it much easier to do that.
Okay, now the Pike County, and it's got here, Pike County Economic Growth and Development Council. That's the company or the institution.
That's correct.
What are you out doing?
What am I out doing? It depends on what day of the week and what cap I'm wearing, actually. By and large, I'm similar to other economic development corporations in that what we are in business of doing is, one, marketing the county to prospective businesses to come in. And when I say businesses, I'm talking primarily about what we would call industrial, light fabrication, assembly. We're looking at logistics, warehouse, and distribution, but we're also looking at, in the rural communities, you'll find economic development corporations that will be looking more also at retail opportunities in terms of bringing them into our community. That's part one. The other one is to work with our existing businesses to find out what's working well for them. Are they having problems? Are they in the midst of trying to make a decision? Are they going to upgrade? Has the economy made it tough on them, and do they need some type of the Growth Council or my counterparts to facilitate assistance to them? And when I say assistance, it may not necessarily be cash, and a lot of times it's not. What it is technical assistance that may be available through one of our universities or a company that has gone through this prior to that. So it's business attraction, it's business retention.
Okay, now, Pike County, let's do that SWOT analysis.
Yeah.
What are the strengths of Pike County?
Pike County's strength is that it has an available workforce. It is very well versed in the power generation industry, the fabricating industry. We have large tracts of property that's able to be developed. We have railroad access, interstate access. The other thing that we've got is we have a wonderful group of students that are coming up through our high school. And they participated in the Project Lead the Way program, which is a national program based on engineering, mathematics, and biotechnology. They've won national awards. They are now mentoring and working with their peers in the surrounding counties, and we're in the process of trying to develop essentially a technology or an innovation center, almost a business incubator that is based around the success of those students and what they're doing.
Then what are the weaknesses that Pike County needs to overcome to take advantage of the opportunities that are there?
Weaknesses, we don't like to really talk about weaknesses in that sense, but they're not unique to Pike County. I jokingly mentioned a while ago that Indiana really has not gotten over the consolidation of high schools. And it's like that in every community you go to, where you're going to have those natural rivalries. Sometimes we take them a little bit too seriously, and sometimes that gets in the way of things, but by and large they continue to move forward and work together. The other thing is that I would view as a weakness is historically Pike County's economy has been structured around digging coal, hauling coal, and burning coal. And with the environmental regulations that are in place today and the national war on coal, it's had a tremendous impact, and the impact really hasn't been felt yet in terms of what that's going to mean to the coal country. They're good paying jobs, and we don't want to lose that. We want to figure out a way that we can work with our national politicians to try to make it something that's going to go into the future.
Because coal is very important to the economy.
Coal is very important.
But you'd like to see maybe a little diversity.
Yes.
That might help.
And that's the weakness that we're talking about, because as the coal industry and power generation industry has gone, so has the economy. And the days of the union coal miners in Indiana, you don't see that anymore. Don't get me wrong, the non-union environment, they're very well paid, but to have all your eggs in one basket makes it dangerous when you've got a very fast-paced world economy going on around you.
How important is it that Pike County works with Du Bois County and that you work with Warwick County and even some places far away as Spencer County?
I'm going to answer that two different ways. 15 or 20 years ago, a person in my position would probably lose their job over working closely with the communities that surrounded them. It was that competitive. Fortunately, things have changed. My counterparts and I realize that as much as we compete for projects and really want to have them in our community, at the same time, if a project decides it wants to locate in Pike County, that's still good for Du Bois County and all the counties around us. Ohio Valley Resources, a project my counterpart in Spencer County, Tom Utter, is working on right now, is such a huge project that the benefits are going to roll over those county lines. So it's important to us that if we're all competing for a project and suddenly realize, hey, it's going to go in a neighboring county, is there anything we can do to help make their application or their request or the marketing they're doing stronger? Because if I can't have it, I really want to make sure somebody close to me does.
Because then you get some spin off of that. There may be some related businesses that will locate somewhere else, not necessarily in Spencer County, to supply that product or that manufacturer in Spencer County. They might locate in Pike County. Or people in Pike County can be employed in Spencer County and drive back and forth.
Exactly. If you look at the impact Toyota has had within 50 to 100 miles in terms of people that are living outside of Gibson County but commute in, satellite vendors and companies that have located in the region and are paying wages that don't realize that, hey, there's a county boundary here. I can't spend $1 earned in Gibson County only in Gibson County. It's going to benefit all of us.
So we're a region.
We are a region.
The more we think like that, the more we all benefit.
We benefit tremendously.
All right, Paul, well, thank you very much for coming in. Is there anything else you'd like to add about Pike County?
Other than it's a wonderful place to live, and my wife, we moved down here about 15 years ago, I think has been pleasantly surprised. She's adjusted to the country life very well.
Yeah, living in living in a rural area is different, and that's an advantage and a disadvantage in a way at times. But more, I think of as an advantage. That's why we're here.
The one thing I tell people when they ask me, how can you go from living in Marion County with a population of almost 1 million and suddenly move to a county that has a population of less than 13,000? And I said the one thing I do miss from the major city is, I said, the convenience of where everything's located in relation to drive home from work. I said, The only difference is that when you live in the rural community, is you just need to think about what you're doing. And you tend to put your trips together, and you don't make those short ones on the way home.
Just makes you smarter. All right. Paul Lake has been our guest. Paul is the Executive Director of the Pike County Growth Council and Development Incorporated. Thank you for being our guest. Thank you for watching WJTS Inform. We are local people watching local people.